The church is right down the street. The neighbors like the noise. 30. She is our chairperson, so we need a chairperson for this meeting. Michael, if you'd like to do that.
Absolutely. Morning, everybody. Glad to be here this fine Monday morning. Has everybody had a chance to go over the minutes from last meeting? Got any changes? Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, carried. All right, portfolio dashboard.
Okay. The first two clients on here have been on for a very long time. They send us monthly payments, they just aren't getting ahead. We're in touch with both of them. I don't think we're concerned about the one in that 1 to 29 day category, but the one that goes all the way up to 150 days, we really stopped communicating with that individual. And Andy, maybe I'll send you an email later today and we'll do a final plan.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then finally, at the very bottom, we have someone in that 30-day category. The amount is $544, and we're going to talk about modifying that month. I had a conversation with both partners on Friday.
Going back to the one that's like pretty far behind, did they go out of business or they just not?
Well, I believe he's still in business. I see him on the community Facebook page, but I don't think he's using the original truck that we helped him purchase. That was in a car accident, so I don't know what vehicle he's using.
Gotcha. Any other, we have the lien on the truck?
We don't.
What is our collateral?
We have no collateral.
It's a small one.
Yeah.
And there's no other like cosign or anything like that? Have we sent him a letter yet
Yes,
from Andy?
yes.
And it is what we do.
Yeah.
Like people that can't get it elsewhere, and once in a while, we're gonna get a rotten apple, and like, it's a small rotten apple.
Any other discussion?
Portfolio dashboard.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, carried. All right, first loan request of the morning, After Owls LLC.
Yes, good morning. After Owls LLC, a craft cocktail lounge and tapa-style restaurant here in the Hudson area, requesting $50,000 that we've split between $30,000 from the CEDC fund and $20,000 from the SBA microloan program. They're not eligible for a Columbia Forward grant. The terms of the loan, our CEDC loan would be amortized over 120 months, while the SBA loan amortized at 72 months. Total monthly payment would be $664.52. Interest rate of 6%. Purpose of the loan, working capital. And our collateral would be a lien on business assets and a personal guarantee of the two principals.
Who was the credit score? You remember?
Significantly, very, very high. We had one individual at 697 and the other, actually I haven't got it, but I will send, actually 730. So 730 and 697.
I was just looking at the time on the note. Did we do a lot of 120 months notes?
We'll be doing them more and more, trying to keep the monthly payments low. Of course, there's no prepayment penalty. Yeah, we've done several of them.
And with the restaurants and stuff like that, I feel like they have a short shelf life unless you really nail it. So I feel like the 10 years thing is kind of. Have we done that in the past for restaurants? Like, just curious.
Oh, I guess I have to go back and look at the individual restaurants. Probably.
Where is it located? I don't see that.
It's on right down.
So
on
in
the border.
Hudson, it's not in the Hudson area.
It's in Hudson, and they,
Hudson.
I believe they have a 10-year lease.
Okay.
It's right across from the place that is.
Right. The next one.
The next
today. We're hoping this quarter becomes a little more developed. There's quite a number of businesses here. Little Deb's is moving into a new space here. We've got the two breweries.
We have to write a loan off whether it be them or someone else, does that go on their credit score?
No, we don't report. So some people think it's gonna benefit them to make their, monthly payments, but the last time I checked in with factual data, that's what we use for our credit histories, et cetera. Didn't qualify.
Did they discuss parking at all? I know Hudson no longer requires parking for anything, but with that corner, that whole area.
Everyone discusses parking.
There's no parking when they finally built the housing there and everything. And the two or three breweries that are right there. It's insane, but they talk about the Hamptons, I guess, now. And I guess everybody's supposed to walk everywhere, come up on the train
They're not driving.
and walk. And then I'm out of the demographic because they stop at age 65, which is. But I don't know.
Now you live in the suburbs.
Yeah. I think that whole area is parking is gonna just get worse and worse there.
Just to advocate for walking, I think it's a good thing because that slows down people and they can see other stores and stuff that they might miss along the way. Getting them out and about, not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. And if you come up from Manhattan, I used to walk 10 blocks. Find something.
I was just there last week and we walked everywhere.
Take my Fitbit.
We'll see. I think the meat place has parking in front, doesn't it?
I think there might be a couple of spaces.
Yes.
So we need to approve this to go to the full board. Is there any other discussion on after owls?
You're good with it. I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
I
carried.
mean, it's a risky business and they all are for startups, but the principals are investing in significant. And they have experience.
I have a lot of experience with this, and your opinion means a lot to me.
Bringing
And
us,
you're coming along.
I'm coming along. I have a great teacher. Bringing us to Kinderhook Books, the second loan from this morning's review. A bookstore, gift shop, and wine bar located in Kinderhook. $50,000 loan request that we've split between the CEDC loan fund and the SBA program. Again, 120-month note on the CEDC loan, 72-month at the SBA at $664.52 monthly payment, 6% interest. Purpose of the loan, inventory purchase and working capital. Collateral on this, a second mortgage on the residence, plus the personal guarantee of the principal.
And do they, are they expanding? Are they a startup?
This is a startup.
It's a bookstore, gift shop, and wine. Depending on trust money.
I was say take notes with spotty dog. And do they have any experience in any of those? Having a store? Or
Journalist by trade, a lover of books.
credit score?
793.
I'd say I've probably been working with this individual for a year or so. She has scoped out, so she really wants to be in Kinderhook, and of course, many residents there remember my Brower bookstore, which was supported by the community. So it's been a case of refining her plan and finding a space, and she has finally identified these.
Did you see the article, Times Union about the revival of Kinderhook, or was, I saw it in Hindi, but I don't remember where it was from.
I don't think it's.
It was an article about how villages have lost a lot of their retail, but Kinderhook has come back strong.
Is this their only loan or they borrow it elsewhere?
So the rest is self-funding.
It's on Broad Street in Kinderhook.
An existing business guy, an existing
Yeah.
business.
Oh, okay.
The existing business there is moving out to expand.
Her plan, but she has like a store, additional sources of income here. I think it's one for that. gifts are, they sound like nice things that people actually buy for gifts.
I did speak to the owner of Spotty Dog. She said people buy a lot of books. She said the community certainly does support her store. She thinks it would be similar.
Yeah, because Spotty Dog probably gets more money out there. So, add value.
I like it. So,
I'll make a motion to approve.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, carried. Next up, meat cook.
Meat Hook Hudson. The second store, the existing Meat Hook is in Brooklyn. It's a butcher shop, a whole animal butcher shop and grocery store, and they're looking for $75,000. Again, $50,000 from the CEDC loan fund and $25,000 from the SBA microloan fund. The total payment is just under $1,000, 6%. The purpose is working capital and equipment purchases, and we will have a lien on business assets and personal guarantee of the principal.
They already have a shop downstate. Do they have any loans and everything going on with that? And
They have an EID from the SBA with a balance of $40,000.
so this lien would just be on the new purchases, nothing already existing.
Correct.
And it's a separate LLC, so
It
it's not
is.
connected to the existing business, kind of financial responsibility.
How did the vending machine meat thing do? I mean, it was there for a while, but then they just.
I think after their lease ran out, they closed, and I'm assuming there just wasn't sufficient business to really make it worthwhile. I do know some individuals really depended on that because they could, leave their shop on Warren Street, pick something up and head home without having to go to the grocery store. But
Bet you that too.
perhaps.
I was trying to think about that because that's sort of. the
Well,
same.
they were bringing it from Stone Ridge, which
Yeah.
is south of Kingston, and they were, filling it up, and obviously if it didn't sell, they had to come up with repackage it.
What's the address?
Columbia Street.
Right.
Right here.
Yeah, it's that, was it tire store or it was in there? Changing whole facade.
Okay.
They rented,
They will be rented.
yeah.
So that means it'll be divided up.
Yes, there will be
Brewery and the-
two businesses there.
Okay.
It's a brewery and this.
And another one that, talking to the same owner.
So when you, and I believe the housing project, one is going forward, being closed soon, the depot.
Oh,
It's scheduled to be closed in the next week or two, the city IDA. So this is going to become, quite an epicenter of activity and also of retail and other types of, and then when the pocketbook factory is done.
So Return Brewing doesn't own that building, they're renting that out?
Galvin owns it.
he does.
And-
He's working with this individual and another, and already started work on the interim.
Galvin owns the Depot District Brewery.
Any other discussion? Oh, actually, where are they gonna be sourcing their meat for this? Is it to be supporting local farms?
Kinderhook Farm, they already have a strong relationship with Kinderhook Farm, but they deal with farms as far away as Pennsylvania. But he feels he's gonna be much closer to the source here than in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'd rather getting stuff from here, not Pennsylvania.
Right.
Great.
But what happened, Mike, to the, call it abattoir or something, when they do actual processing out of the Commerce Park or something, it was a couple years ago.
Before my time, but,
Yeah.
we had, several years ago, Martha and I met with a gentleman who wanted to actually do meat processing, slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
a mini slaughterhouse. And I know when Dave and I met with Shadowbrook Farm, there is no facility in the county. So they were going to Northern Rensselaer County,
Yeah, to retail it.
no, to butcher it.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Hmm?
That's what I was-
Yeah, but Shadowbrook Farm was going to Northern Rensselaer
Yeah.
County.
they just came to it.
This operation kind of brings to mind how businesses say, oh, locally sourced, farm to table and all that. Do you think we could have a responsibility to where we say to people who are getting involved, all right, if you're going to be here in Hudson and you're going to have a sign out front that says locally sourced, supporting local farms, like how do we define local? And should we require them to say like, oh, 20% of your meat needs to be sourced local to say you're local? Because I remember going into a bar and I was like, oh, do you have any local brews? And they're like, oh yeah, we got something from the Finger Lakes. That's not local.
The difficulty is the monitoring, compliance, administration, and what you do when it's 19%. All alone.
I like to think we're business friendly and we let them make those decisions. If we make them take the word local out somewhere, but I'm guessing that produce either will come from local farms or some percent will.
I don't mean like to police it, but just at least put it on the forefront of their mind. Like, okay, well maybe when we do this, we'd like to support all these local businesses, so it'd be, just not pressure them or force their hand, but just kind of really imply that we want to support all these local
I
businesses.
honestly think that's why he's moving here, to be closer to the source. And we also are developing a relationship with another Dirty Dog Farm. I think we'll introduce him to those owners. I think there's an opportunity and
I agree they should do that, but I don't think we should police it.
No, yeah, I just mean at least emphasize.
we've had several conversations.
With our farm report anniversary.
He did.
We've had a lot of conversation with him, and it's one of his big drivers and something that is part of his business plan, is being locally sourced. And again, like I said, it's what trouble my areas is closer.
Great. All right. No further discussion? Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very, all right. Thank you. Quality Q loan modification.
They're the ones on your dashboard. They have just hit 60 days, they were about to hit a 60-day mark. I had a conversation with both principals. It would benefit them if we could rewrite the loan. The balance, I think, is $23,000. Spread it out over 72 months. We're going to take it out of the SBA loan portfolio, use the CEDC loan funds, and lower their monthly payment, I think, by $150. They'll continue to pay us. I feel confident that we've got strong personal guarantees, and we're just working with them to make them more
And for the minutes, what's the nature of their business
restaurant
and where is it located?
conglomerate, not currently operating.
And so I'm looking at their closing date. So we made that loan during COVID. And all
Yes,
that.
it was a difficult time to start.
Yeah. So they started up during COVID.
Do they own the property?
They do, and they're interested in leasing it or maybe doing a lease to own, so we'll,
They
try
sort of
to-
not open.
they are not
Probably
open.
wouldn't open.
No, it does not appear that way. The owner has found a good job and it's working better than.
So that's
being
why he
an
wants to
owner.
refinance and just spread it out.
And we've had several people who have closed their business that continued to, we had the bakery. We had several where, they understand the obligation that they have. They understand that their business didn't work out or that they decided to relocate it. And they continued to pay us until they completed their obligation in full.
And at some point they may decide to sell the building. But right now they're going to try.
Make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to just update you on the 7th Street Park. The New York State Assembly has approved a $125,000 grant. The funding will be secured through the New York State Dormitory Authority. The not-for-profit group that is leading the effort to redevelop the park and restore it to its more historic character. Continues to have fundraisers, have several over the summer. The nature of the grant from the state and the purposes and uses of funds for that grant, based on what they have submitted to the state, is for furnishings and signage and other types of amenities that would be added after any reconstruction is done. I did have them put together some information that Steve and Martha and I can review for next month so that we can give them a commitment. But the items that they're going to spend the money on, they're not going to be in a position to do for at least a year. So I think that the thought would be to give them a conditional approval so they have a commitment with conditions in it that would have to be satisfied by us at the time they need the money to buy the benches and the signage and the other types of activities. And that way, if they do get a grant from the Department of Parks and Recreation and Historic Preservation to do the work, because they're not going to install the new benches and signage until they do the physical work to improve the site. So they're a little bit, this grant is ahead of where they have to be able to spend the money. And if they've told the state they're going to only spend it on those things and the state approves that, then we would advance the money to them for those things at the time. But that would come back to us, but they do need a commitment from us to be able to demonstrate they have our support.
We wouldn't loan them the money until they actually needed it.
And we probably pay the furniture and sign vendors directly. So that,
Any idea, excuse me, any idea on the total cost of this project? Like $2 or $3 million.
I think it was 4.
yeah, it's 4 million. I think, it's certainly something that they're looking at a variety of things. They're looking at grants for sidewalks. They're looking at grants. It's going to be a mosaic or patchwork quilt, perhaps better defined.
So they may be coming to us for other things as well.
Well, I think they know that the role that we can play is what we have done for other not-for-profits that have been awarded federal or state grants, and where the money has to be spent before the grant and the project has to be completed before the grant source will pay them. So, I think that because they'll never have revenue for operating the park, because they're being a public park, they'll never be able to, charge fees. I suppose the city could charge a permit fee, but that wouldn't be sufficient for us to do anything but advance funds against a future grant.
Okay. But this one in particular doesn't come into fulfillment until the end.
Yeah, which is good because, it's not as if we're putting the first dollar in for studies and other types of activities. But they'll also know that, and it's just, what we proposed is a $62,500 grant for half of what they're getting from the state, so that they can, they get to a point where they can order and use the money for the down payment. And then when the materials, when the furniture and signage is completed and installed, what we said to them is the state said they could get a 50% up after they could get a progress payment. So if that all works out, I said the board would consider loaning them the balance to complete the project if it goes well on the first phase of the project. But I do think that the park does need some refreshing, and it is going to be in this district that's going to be coming back to life with all of this business activity, including the criticized brewery. There was an article in somewhere that someone wrote that we don't need any more breweries in Hudson. We need bumper car,
Miniature golf.
miniature golf,
The skateboard.
and skate parks.
We had a train.
Yeah.
What about a trolley? No trolley?
Yeah.
approval for that?
No, it wasn't ready for, they only submitted it this week, and because of the fact they don't need the money for over a year, I wanted to bring it to your attention because I do want to see if you would approve a commitment, conditioned on other aspects of the completed project so that they can, when they're out trying to raise private funds or get additional grant money, they know that CEDC has this loan facility available. So, thank you.
Anything else? Any public comment? Nobody there? Make it a motion to.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Thanks.
Thank you.